Welcome everyone to Fast Track Legal Solutions. I am Anusha, the host, and we have Sir Advocate Govind Bali sir with us today. And today's discussion of the podcast would be where are men's rights in Indian laws? Shall we proceed, sir?
Sure.
So the first question to you is, do you think Indian law currently recognizes men as potential victim of abuse or injustice? Are there any specific laws in India that exist solely to protect them?
See, basically, gender neutrality does not exist as of now. But we are moving towards it gradually with judgments coming in, with the LGBTQ regime coming in, with the NAS Foundation judgment coming in, with decriminalization of certain offenses and criminalization of certain offenses. But if we are specifically talking about any jurisprudence in India which is specifically talking about men's right, that does not exist for the time being.
All right. So, moving on to the next question. Why is the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act not gender neutral? Do we have cases where men were victim of domestic violence but have no legal remedy?
There have been a lot of cases in which men are beaten up with the wives. इन लॉज आके पीट के चले जाते हैं, गाली गलौज होती है, बहुत ज़्यादा अब्यूज होता है, ह्यूमिलेशन है, दे आर बीइंग डिग्रेडेड, दे आर बीइंग डिफेम्ड, बट देयर आर नो लॉज टू प्रोटेक्ट देम. डेफेमेशन एक ऐसा लॉ है आज की डेट में जो बहुत सारे हस्बैंड्स यूटिलाइज कर रहे हैं टू गेट some kind of remedy against the undue humiliation that is posed on them by their in-laws. बट एज सच डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस से बचने के लिए कोई लॉज हैं ऐसा नहीं है आज की डेट में. हाँ, सीनियर सिटीजन्स हैं, अगर आपके फादर इन लॉ एंड मदर इन लॉ, तो वो लेडीज के अगेंस्ट में सीनियर सिटीजनशिप प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट के अंदर चले जाते हैं. एंड सीनियर सिटीजनशिप कोर्ट्स हैं जिसके अंदर पीपल आर एक्चुअली ट्राइंग टू कम अप विद आइडियाज. बट ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि हस्बैंड को अगर आप डिफेम कर रहे हो तो उसके पास कोई आपके अगेंस्ट में रेमेडी है. आज की डेट में तो नहीं है. हस्बैंड बेसिकली एक वो बंदा है जो ड्रम के अंदर मिल सकता है, जो आपको मेघालय गए हुए किसी एक पहाड़ से नीचे गिरा हुआ मिल सकता है, लेकिन उसको प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए कोई लॉज नहीं है. बिकॉज जब तुम पुलिस स्टेशन जाते हो, बोलते हो कि मेरी पत्नी मुझे मार रही है, इवन द पुलिस लाफ्स इट आउट. दे आर लाइक, क्या बात कर रहा है भाई, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है.
Do they succeed if they proceed towards a defamation?
Yes, if defamation is public in nature, they will succeed. क्रिमिनल डेफेमेशन के अंदर भी जीतेंगे और सिविल डेफेमेशन के अंदर भी जीतेंगे. स्पेसिफिकली जब हस्बैंड गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट होता है तो जनरली फादर इन लॉज और जो वाइफ है वो इतनी भद्दी भद्दी कंप्लेंट्स उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में डाल देते हैं कि उनकी जो रेपुटेशन है वो खराब हो जाती है. उस केस के अंदर दे सक्सीड, एंड वी हैव गॉट केसेस इन व्हिच दे हैव सक्सीडेड. बट देन क्वेश्चन यही आता है ना कि वो जीतने के बाद भी व्हाट नाउ?
Their reputation goes away.
Is he going to get that reputation back? Will that money or will that punishment that has been given to that person, will that get back the reputation that has been lost? Will that get back the pain and the agony that that person has gone through? No.
True enough. So the next question to you, sir, is Section 498 IPC, now corresponding to Section 85 of BNS, was meant to protect women, but these are claims of misuse. What's your view regarding that?
See, basically हर लॉ का मिसयूज हो सकता है, हो रहा है और होता रहेगा. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई कानून बन गया है तो उसका मिसयूज नहीं होगा. Whether it is Domestic Violence Act, whether it is 498A, genuine cases हैं, उनको हम डिनाई नहीं कर सकते. There have been cases where women have been pushed down from third floor, they have been burnt alive, they have been killed, they have been beaten to pieces. I mean, they have been beaten in such a brutal way कि आप imagine नहीं कर सकते. बट जो फेक केसेस हैं उनके ऊपर पेनलाइजेशन होनी चाहिए. अभी कुछ समय पहले एक केस आया था, उसके अंदर एक लेडी ने 9 शादियां करी थी और 9 की 9 शादियों के अंदर 498 एक्ट लगाया था. एंड 9 की 9 शादियों में उसने एलिमनी ली, बट लास्ट में जो आखिरी शादी थी उसमें वो किसी वकील साहब के साथ थी. तो फिर वकील साहब ने जब ये सारी बातें हाई कोर्ट में बताई, देन द होल थिंग केम इनटू लाइट एंड देन some favorable order was passed. But in that case also she was not penalized. So we need to come up with laws which are making things gender neutral. I am not saying that gender neutral means कि सब कुछ बराबर पेडेस्ट्रियन पे खड़ा होगा. It will take time. सती प्रथा को जाने के लिए बहुत समय लगा, वो एकदम से नहीं गया. चाइल्ड मैरिज आज भी एग्जिस्ट करती है, बट ऑन अ लार्जर एक्सटेंट वो एक्सटेंट हो गई है. बट हमें इन चीजों पे सोचना पड़ेगा कि क्या जो लड़के हैं वो ह्यूमंस नहीं है. डू दे डू नॉट हैव राइट्स? आर दे नॉट मेंट टू हैव राइट्स? With the number of suicide cases coming up, it is because of social media that these cases are even being shown. Mainstream media will never talk about it because it is not going to get them TRP. So we need to talk about men's right at large. Men's lives do matter. Men's life is as important as a woman's life.
All right. So, how easy or difficult is it for a man to prove innocence in such cases?
See, it is not about proving innocence or being guilty. The question is, how many years are you going to waste in these cases? Your life does not remain the same when you get to the court. I am saying this with a lot of responsibility. तुम्हारी जो प्रोफेशनल लाइफ है वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगी बिकॉज तुम्हारी आज कोई इंपॉर्टेंट मीटिंग है और तुम्हारी आज ही डेट है तो तुम डेट पे जाओगे ना. तुम कोर्ट पहुंचोगे, तुम उस मीटिंग में जाओगे ही नहीं. लोग तुम्हें कहेंगे तुम बार बार कचहरी क्यों जा रहे हो. पुलिस वाले आएंगे इन्वेस्टिगेट करने के लिए, अगर क्रिमिनल केस हो गया है तो समझ जाएंगे बार बार. 2 डेट्स मिस कर दोगे तो वारंट हो जाएगा तुम्हारे अगेंस्ट में. So basically, it is not very easy to live in that life. Only few people are there who get on terms with it, and they are like, "Fine, I am going through a difficult time. I will fight it back, and then come out." Innocence prove हो जाता है. हर केस के अंदर guilty prove होना बहुत difficult है. हम लोग जब statistics निकालेंगे तो बहुत कम cases है जिसके अंदर guilty prove होता है कोई. Generally तो ये सब tactics बन चुकी हैं to settle down the matters by the other side. They want a higher amount of alimony, so they put all forms of cases. So that is how things are working out.
All right. So studies show men account for a disproportionate number of studies in India. Why is this not being discussed more?
क्योंकि मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता.
They cannot cry.
They can't cry. They do not have emotions, no?
According to people.
People, yes. Men do not feel things. Men will never be a structure of study. You know, I have always been saying this. When a man does everything, he will still not be appreciated for it. Because expectations are very high on the other side. And problem with men is men are not being considered as first class citizens in this country now. With the number of men suiciding, with the number of men being murdered by their lovers, wives' lovers actually, the number of men being abused, thrashed, put in false cases is very high. It calls for not just a study, it calls for a proper law commission report, a report which is talking about men at large. But nobody will talk about it because मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता, मर्द रोता नहीं है, मर्द के पास इमोशंस नहीं होते हैं. That is what the society has told us. But with the LGBTQ rights coming in, now धीरे धीरे क्या होगा कि दोनों साइड पे मर्द होंगे या दोनों साइड पे औरतें होंगी. ऐसा तो है नहीं डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस तब बंद हो जाएगा.
Exactly.
When two men are married together, domestic violence will be there that time also. When two women are married to each other, when the marriage gets legalized in India, they will still have domestic violence. And the point of domestic household still exists. Even if they are not married and living together, तो domestic household तो है. जब दो औरतें एक दूसरे के साथ लड़ रही होंगी और डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस कर रही होंगी, तब किसको मर्द बोलोगे, तब किसको पीनलाइज करोगे. तो जेंडर न्यूट्रलिटी आएगी, बट इट विल टेक सम टाइम.
All right. So is there enough emotional or legal support men undergoing emotional trauma?
See, basically बहुत ज़्यादा NGOs नहीं है, but there are very good people who are working for it. Deepika Narayan Bhardwaj is one of the ladies that I want to talk about. She has been dealing with men's right from past many years that I have been seeing her. I have not met her personally, but looking at the support that she's giving traumatized men, it is commendable that somebody is talking about it. A problem is that men do not speak. This is what I've realized over times, because whenever a lady client comes to me for a divorce case or for any case of such kind, she will pour out all her emotions. She'll give every kind of, what should I say, uh, thing about the husband. वो इतना बुरा क्यों है, उसने क्या नहीं करा, क्या करा. But when the male clients come, they are generally not able to express what they have gone through. And that is one of the major reasons men are in depression. That is one of the major reasons they are being abused. Because their threshold is different. They are a bit carefree to certain extent, but then when it becomes repetitive, you cannot go away from it. So there are some NGOs. There is a men's helpline, which is a private organization which has come up. Then there are psychological helplines which are coming up. Suicide helplines are there. But how effective are they? I cannot comment on it. Specifically, there is no organization which is government led as of now for men in India.
There's a national commission for women, but not for men.
Yeah, because women are more, how should I put it? The atrocities on women have been for a long period of time, and it cannot be denied. I am not denying the fact that atrocities on women have been going on for a longer period of time, and it has to be accepted. But that does not make men lesser humans.
True.
So, a national commission for men, even if it comes up, what is it going to deal with? See, when we talk about equity, we need to talk about equal justice also. We cannot place two differently placed people on similar thresholds. So we need to come up with new policies which are dealing with gender neutrality, not gender specificality. Now there is a National Human Rights Commission which is taking complaints of men, but are actions being taken on it? If a National Commission for Men also comes in, what are they going to do? There would be a tussle between National Commission for Women and National Commission for Men. That who has the upper edge, who's going to be correct. So we do not want that kind of environment to be built in. We do not want both the genders to fight with each other. It is not going to be a gender versus gender fight. It has to be inclusivity between two genders and understanding both issues and reducing the number of fake cases being filed. When I say that these cases are fake, is because we are not able to come up with the idea that why abuse is happening. Abuse happens on both sides. Whenever a domestic violence case is happening, nobody is going to be quiet about it, and there are going to be issues. But why are only one sided issues being considered is the question. It is something like that if your wife slaps you, you cannot file a case. But if you say something derogatory to your wife, that becomes a case. The power and the intensity of offense is different. On one side, you have been physically assaulted, but no case goes on. On the other side, only words have been spoken and the case can be filed, and you can be behind bars. We need to talk about that issue at large.
You said the society expects higher level of expectations from men. So if women talk about neutrality in workspace and in every aspect, in how much perspective does the equality remain?
See, I'll be very honest with you. There's this case going on for women officers in the army, commanding regiments. It's very good, they should. But then they should also join the special para forces and stay in the same environment that men are going to stay in. You cannot have special conditions there, right? If you can go on the same threshold and work in the similar environment, equality and equity will exist. But you cannot have special environments and then talk about equity and equality. How would that become equal? If I am placing you on this pedestal, I am standing here and coming above you, that does not make me a special person or you making you equal. Because even after standing here, if you're not equal, that becomes a problem. Now, the very idea of workspace equality and inclusivity, things are happening for the good. Women are going in all domains, and there is no doubt about it. Indian judiciary is now being run by women. The number of women judges is increasing day by day, and which is a very good thing. But rights of men should also be considered by the same women who are mothers, sisters, daughters. They should only come up with some policy or some precedent which says that men's life also matters.
So moving further is just a vision for future. What can the average man do today if he feels wronged or unprotected by the system?
He should
According to you.
he should file a PIL with some people along. He should file a writ petition for his rights. He should just speak up. He should start speaking up. Suppressing is not good. Make self-help groups are there. Join them. Come up with solutions. Find ways to come up with a law. We need to come up with an idea. It is not only men, it is women also who feel that laws are being abused to come together and help.
Fair enough. So there is an Act, Posh Act, and it protects only women in cases of sexual harassment at the workplace. Should it be gender neutral?
See, no, Posh Act is not only for women.
Okay.
Uh, there are many corporates who've got a gender neutral Posh policy. It is not protection of women. It is protection of from sexual harassment at workplace act. Now, this act is basically made because of the Vishakha case. Vishakha case was a very brutal case, and it was one case in which we realized that how judicial precedents can end up making a law which helps. There have been issues where women have been abused and men are also being abused, and now gender neutral boss policies have come in. If you have been abused by your female boss, action is taken against her also. If you have been harassed by your male boss, action is taken against that also. It's a organization based approach. Some organizations have got gender neutrality in them and in the policy, and they're working on it in a very good manner.
All right. So moving further, sir, do you think society and media are fair in now they portray men in cases of conflict or accusation?
See, media trial is not good in any case. Media does not have the right to try anyone. It is the job of the courts. Media's job is to report an incident. They should do that. Them becoming judges and passing verdicts is wrong. It is not under the freedom of speech or expression or freedom of press that they're talking about. Media trials are wrong everywhere, and media trials are not correct in any manner. Media trials actually demean the very judicial system that we believe in.
So do you feel media suppresses more men to appeal or take any action? Just
I don't think so. I do not give that much of credit to media for it. Men are being suppressed because they have got no support groups with them. People do not take cases for men. They say कि तुम्हारा केस में कुछ होना नहीं है. There is no law for you. Now I have been taking cases only for men for some time. In a lot of cases where most of the people were denied representation. And I particularly feel that we need to come to the idea of an educated system wherein we are fighting in a good manner and fighting for the rights of men at large.
all right. So we have. Do you think they need more regulations and acts regarding the same?
Regarding what?
Regarding their right to take an appeal or take an against action.
See,
There are
appeal
no laws.
option of appeals is already there. You cannot be convicted and just not appeal. We have the system. We've got the three-tier system: district courts, high courts, and the Supreme Court. That system is there. Nobody is saying that that system does not exist, but that system takes a lot of time to come to conclusions. We need to come up with systems which are not just penalizing men at large, which is gender neutral. In today's date, with the number of women judges coming in the lower judiciary, and with the number of young men coming in the judiciary and young people in the judicial system, things are changing. Things are evolving with time, and even the judiciary has now realized that there are certain things that have to be neutralized and taken in a good manner, and things are happening to that extent.
Any such case where you felt as in men are not given the rights as much as women that you have dealt with?
See, there have been cases in which my clients were beaten up by their wives. We ended up filing a complaints case because we had medical records. But on the same side, if it would have been a female client, I would have gone for the Domestic Violence Act. Now we do not have any provisions like that for men. That we have already dealt with. We've spoken about it at length. Then, similarly for custody cases, people have got a misconception कि बच्चे की custody सिर्फ माँ के पास ही जाती है. We have a client who has his child from past 6 years, and the courts have not granted the custody to the wife because welfare of child is of utmost importance. Educating people about the legal rights is the call for the hour.
So why is it always said to be mother can have the custody very well enough rather than the
See,
father?
वो एक extinct है कि mother is the best guardian, but the law says father is the natural guardian. सो वो एक डिबेट है, मतलब, बट उस डिबेट को सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कुछ एक्सटेंट तक रेस्ट कर दिया है by saying that the custody of the child should go to the person who has got better welfare of the child. So welfare of the children is of utmost importance, and it has been decided in a very good way.
All right. So, sir, do you have anything to say regarding the men's right more? Just a suggestion.
The suggestion is very simple: stand up for your rights, don't suppress your feelings. The idea of justice is not theoretical in nature, it is practical in nature. Let's just stand up and go forward for it.
All right, so thank you so much for your precious time. That's all for today.